Good morning, good afternoon, and if you're coming home from working a long 9 to 5, hope you're having a great one. As we bring to you another edition of Bodyslam.net's Talktagon with myself, Rami, and the GOAT Max. I just
Yes,
realized we
sir.
don't have any like nameplates. I think I got nameplates aren't really like showing, so I'm like it's cool because it's like okay, whatever, because we still have our users
Yeah.
down there. But I guess StreamYard wants to act up. But of course, the UFC had their trip to Sydney, Australia where it was UFC 325 headlined by Alexander Volkanovski against Diego Lopes in a rematch, to which the last time that they fought each other, you and I expected Diego Lopes to walk out of that one after the knockouts that Volkanovski faced. He fought
Yeah.
adversity, he got out of there, he won it, and in the rematch, we automatically assumed that Lopez would take the championship. I pulled a swerve at the end. I was not
I'm
going
glad
to
you
bet.
mentioned it. I was going to for sure. This guy texted
I
me right before the main event. I'm switching to Volk. I
I'm
don't even
switching to
really
Volk.
think it's gonna win, but because of the predictions, I want to make sure we tie. So I'm like, this guy, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
End up working out for real. I was
It
like, yeah,
did.
of
It
course.
it worked out in the end. I was nervous, man. I was like, I'm getting fucked brutally. This is not good for me. Like, as we can see here with the prelims, let's pull it up right now. Um, look at that. Look at that. Like you having yourself a pretty damn good
Although
time.
I will
But so
say,
I have a question to ask.
yeah,
So before all of this, was I in the lead by one fight? Or
um,
because
before this card or what?
yeah, like with the with the picks that we had, like before the prelims got set, was it a like 7-4 record when we fixed things, or like
Yeah,
were we
yeah, yeah.
always
From last
yeah
week.
we yeah
Yeah, we were
exactly
tied from
yeah,
last week. Yeah.
yeah I was wondering because I was like 7-4. I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't the last one like 6-5? So now we
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
we had the
I
thing.
messed up the Umar thing. Remember? Uh,
Yeah. I was so confused. I was like looking at the numbers. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going
Wait
on
a
here?
minute. We're just
But
adding another win.
what?
What is this? Is this on Tapology on the regional scene where they add some random
Yeah,
bum that has
Michael
a win?
Morales, get that fucking guy out of here. But of course, very fun card, Sydney, Australia. It happened in the middle of the Dirty Royal Rumble, which I was like, come on, dog. I'm trying to watch the fights, so I
Yeah,
had to
and they're
watch the
owned by the
fights.
same people. It's like you'd think that they'd
Yeah,
try to schedule
yeah.
that different.
People are like, oh, maybe it's because of like football. I'm like, who the fuck cares? Football's not on Sundays. You could
Yeah.
have legit put that card on there in the morning, and everyone would have been figured out Philadelphia by Monday morning. It would have been fine. But of
Mm,
course, we had. Hold on. Are we missing a fight here?
I don't think so. Are we?
Lawrence Louis. Lawrence Louis. Is he there?
Oh yeah, yeah. What the fuck? All right, well we'll count that as another win.
Like, legit,
Yeah, bro, dude,
I
this
love
shit
how
is so confusing.
confused.
How
Okay,
it'll be like
wait a
road
minute.
to UFC final. Sometimes they don't show up, but I don't know why the other two showed up.
Exactly. But no, like
We'll count that as
it's just
another win.
exactly. So it's 8-4. And then when we see it now, it's gonna be even better than we
For
usually see
real,
it.
sick.
Um, but let's talk about that Lawrence Louis fight with
Yeah.
Solon Grambo, I believe the name is. This was for the Road to UFC Bantamweight tournament final. They were supposed to, I think they were scheduled to fight each other quite some time ago. Yeah. Um, and then just a bunch of weight cuts happened, bad like a bunch of weight misses here is from what I'm reading it as. So they had to completely reschedule it for this event. But Lawrence Louis against Solon Granbo, split decision win for Lawrence, and I want to say that like watching it back and everything, it was very close fight and whatnot. But I believe that Louis worked out a lot of the ways of just taking the damage, adversity, as we
Yeah.
say. But the wrestling was really top notch from him to be able to get ahead of it, and in the striking as well. But
Mhm.
you know these road to UFC events, it's weird to have them on pay-per-views, and they're not really like they don't really give us a lot of analysis about it. They don't really talk much
Yeah,
about it
yeah.
except for like DC, Lawrencenko, Chris White, and mostly Chris Weidman's just kind of like hitting on the scene. He's like, yeah, I don't think these guys are even strong enough. Max Holloway, he's not that good. I'm like, okay, like we're gonna move on from that. But what were your thoughts on this opener between Lawrence and Stolen Granable?
Yeah, at first, Grambo was looking really good, landing those uppercuts, piecing them up. But like you said, Louis was tough and was able to weather the storm and was able to come out with the win. And I was really impressed. I was definitely thinking that we were going to start out with a loss on the predictions, but he clutched up for us and got that split decision win. Maybe controversial, but I agreed with it. There's definitely some closer rounds, especially after that first round. I think the first round was Suingrambo, but from there, I think Louis showed off his toughness, and as well as he was able to mix things up, get things on the ground, and he really impressed me with his heart, because those uppercuts that was getting landed on him were nasty, nasty, nasty. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Like, you expected him to get dropped at some point, but he was just trying to freaking fight through him. But of course, he picks the big win here, Bantamweight tournament final, and we'll see what happens for him going forward. This division is very feisty, and usually most of the time we see someone get a really good hot streak or have to fight through just a bunch of wars. So it'll be very interesting to see what unranked opponent he fights next, and
yeah,
then to see how he works his way up through the rankings. Our next fight was Kaishiro Nakamura against Sebastian Sazale. We picked here Sebastian, I believe.
yep,
Yeah, and it was looking fine. It was looking pretty damn good.
yeah. It was looking good.
It was looking good, and then out of freaking nowhere, I believe an eye poke happened or something like along those lines. I think it felt weird. Was the fight stopped at some point?
Yeah,
Because
yeah. I can't remember if it was a nut shot or an eye poke. Yeah,
nut shot or eye poke, and then I'm thinking, oh, it's a finish because like in the midst of all of this, I'm trying to watch this card, but I'm also having a Royal Rumble on. So I'm like, okay, I'll watch this later on. Saw that, what do you call it? I tend to forget because again, all of these very happen quickly. But then, just as Faye had it, Nakamura lands a big freaking knee
yeah,
and just drops him with a bunch of punches. Kinshasa, to the exact. But yeah, Nakamura picks up a big win here, featherweight tournament final on the road to UFC. Our first three fights were road to UFC finals, and so I'm glad that we were able to see a knockout get picked up because, as we said last week, we want to see more finishes happen in the UFC
yep.
because it allows these fighters to get that 25K payout. So when we see a split decision, we know how much heart they had in it. But at the end of the day, it's all about what kind of finishes you can put on. But what were your thoughts on Nakamura here picking up that big win?
Yeah, really impressive. Similar to Louis, where they started out a little rough. We saw Cesale looking really good and really controlling the fight, and up until that last round, and then that knee he did not see it coming, and that was all she wrote from there. He was out bad, and Nakamura with the crazy comeback win definitely was probably on his way to losing on the scorecards, and for him to be able to clutch up like that and find that freaking KO blow was absolutely beautiful. So I'm excited to see what he does in the UFC now that he's in. 27 years old, 8-1. Interesting. Pretty big for that division. Really tall and lanky for that division. So we'll see what he can do. Definitely it's going to be a tough division. I mean, freaking that whole featherweight division is just so stacked. So it's going to be tough for him, but we'll see what he can do. And honestly, for Cesale, I wouldn't be surprised if they throw him a contract too, just to add another body on the roster, which I love to do, because he was looking good up until that, and up until he got KO'd, like really smooth. But he's 31, so I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. But I was impressed with both guys, honestly.
For sure. And that's what the whole like it's like the Ultimate Fighter as well. Like we get to see the purpose of both fighters and see how far that they can get each
Yeah,
other.
totally.
Um, but of course, picking up the big win there, Nakamura. We want to see knockout power, and we're able to see that in featherweight division. It's going to be very exciting to see what happens going forward. Our next fight, road to the UFC final, lightweight. Don Morfan, the hometown kid, against Sang Woo Kim, and just wow. Reading off the stats here, 135 strikes and 92, of course, where both fighters, trying the best with the takedowns. Sang Wook went really crazy here, 1 of 10. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just trying his best to drag down the competition. It did not work. There was reversals on Don Morfan's side and more significant strikes, which we saw, of course, the brutalized face of Sang Woo Kim.
Hmm.
Um, we've been saying, like we want to see like these young guys, especially bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, very fast, very crazy, very brazy, doing some really good things here. Um, and Don Morfan adds another what do you call it cap on his hat, kept picking up a UFC contract. Lightweight division is still opened up. There's so many options here. Like we have our
Yeah.
champion being Islam Makhachev, but you're not sure of how long Islam will be champion. Sorry, Ilia Topuria being
Yeah.
champion, but we're not sure how long Ilia could be champion for if he wants to vacate, move up. Justin Gaethje will get a pass on the wrist, and Justin Gaethje looked very great against Paddy Pimblett. But I
Hmm.
feel like it was also those levels ahead of somebody. Went from
Yeah.
being an undefeated fighter, he learned about losses, he learned about getting better with the cardio and the power, and then we saw what happened in the next couple of years. Dalmar Fan showing off the wrestling that he had, being able to sprawl takedowns and show off his just good weight class.
Hmm.
As long as he can just keep making weight and everything, like we said, no, these guys tend to be sometimes bigger than the other, or tend to be bigger than the weight class that they're in. But as
Yeah.
long as you have a good nutritionist, then hell yeah, keep making that weight and try
Hmm.
not to kill yourself. But
Yeah.
what are your
Don't go
thoughts on
Kevin
Dom's
Smotherman
win?
out here. Yeah. Really impressive win, dude. Um, Pretty dominant fight, honestly. Controlled most of the fight. Really impressed with him. That takedown defense, like you said, was just unbreakable. He was just looking so good. And yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what's going to happen with him. Match him up with someone. His only losses have been his two losses are to the same guy who we also saw on this card, Quinlan Salkield. So that's a tough one. Maybe one day he'll be able to catch up to him. Right now, Salkild's kind of on a trajectory that's kind of surpassing Marfan right now, but you never know. In a few years, if both of them are on a hot streak, run it back, see the trilogy. Um, but yeah, that goes to show how good Salkield is if he was able to finish this guy twice, and then we saw how good he looked here. So definitely excited to see him. Really young guy, 25 years old, 9-2, only lost to a really good fighter. So this guy's going to be interested to see what's gonna happen with him in the UFC now that the road to UFC is now over and he's officially made it into the UFC. Impressive performance. And I love his nickname, Street Buddha. He's badass.
Very, very much so. And I'm very excited to see what happens going forward for him. This next fight that we have here, I want to ask you, robbery or no?
Yeah, major. Not just because we picked him, bro. I was like, no, I kind of stopped paying attention after the fight was over. I'm like, okay, don't even have to
Yeah,
worry
because
about the judges,
exactly, yo. I
and they
feel the
rob him.
same way.
I'm like,
I
what?
I'm like the whole fight I saw this guy getting pummeled and beaten. I'm like, man, I'm like sometimes I wish I did. I was like I wanted to pick him before the fight because I was like, you know what? He always like bounces back from like all like he has so much heart. He always
Yeah.
bounces back and has a comeback fight and it picks up a big one like in his last outing. But I was like,
Hmm.
you know what? I'm just for this one, I'm gonna just go with Giza. And he had a great performance. Giza, 3 takedowns, 75 strikes in total, 68 of them significant to 48. Only one reversal on the side for Khan Ofli, but besides that, he was 0 for 7 with takedowns. He had 53 strikes in total, and just he got his ass whooped. He got
Yeah,
pummeled. He got
for
beaten.
real.
There was no way that anyone could have said, yeah, I could see it going both ways. A majority decision. That was the
Yeah.
wrong freaking call. Huh?
Yeah, I'm like, I just don't understand that whatsoever. I'm like, how do these scorecards even happen? Like, I just don't understand. I thought that was so easy to score, easy for Yiza getting that win. And somehow a judge scores it 28-28. I'm like, how is that even possible, bro? Like, what? Like, there's a 10-8 in that round? I'm like, I don't understand. So, yeah, the judges were on one. It was some home cooking. No disrespect to Offley. I mean, he's a fun fighter, but it
Yeah.
was just unfair to Yiza. I'm like, this is just ridiculous. He clearly won at least 2 rounds. I mean, you could maybe even say 3, but I'd say Offley probably won that first round. But yeah, I was perplexed at this decision by the judges. Like, sometimes I'm
It,
like,
it's
what are
the,
they
it's like
watching?
the first 3 rounds of the Gaethje Pimblett fight we saw last weekend. We saw him getting
Mm-hmm.
dropped, and then it's like the judges saying, "Yeah, but Pimblett won because he survived."
Yeah, yeah.
What does that have to do with the press in
Bro,
China? Like,
participation
get
trophy
out of
ass
here.
shit. For real, bro.
But our early prelims ends right there, and then we head into the prelim card, which is both on Paramount, but the early prelims was on UFC Fight Pass. Who still uses UFC Fight Pass? It's kind of wild. But
Yeah, yeah. Definitely not me.
like they really don't promote that shit at all. But we had Jonathan McAuliffe against Obon Elliott. I went with Obon Elliott simply because I was like, I've seen the Welsh gangster fight before. He's a
Hmm.
badass motherfucker, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he
Like
is.
if anything, we're both 50-50 on this pick here. and it was looking pretty 50-50 heading
Yeah.
into that second round. We were like, they're both knocking each other's brains out. Oban's having himself a good time. He's not getting dropped. He's not looking bad in the wrestling or the grappling
Hmm.
against the cage. Everything was good, and then all of a sudden he got dragged down. He got the choke was put in by Jonathan, and then just synced his lights out. He survived the first time. He put the arm down, and then it got back up, and then it was just lights out. Irene Oban Elliott gets submitted with a rear naked choke in the second round. Just
Yeah.
beautiful performance from
Put him
Jonathan
out.
McAuliffe. Exactly, took him out.
For
Just
real.
I was
He
like,
was not gonna tap, dude. You
and
could
then
tell.
Orr farmed over the man, like he was
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
his
Starts
emotes and everything.
flexing.
I was like, he was like, yeah. I was like, what the
Well, that's
fuck?
a big dude. I'm like, these
He
look like
really
different
is.
weight classes, bro. I was like, Oban looks like a lightweight, and this dude looks like a freaking middleweight. I was like, God
Hmm.
damn. And the thing is, Oban was looking good, piecing him up early.
Oban was nice. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I was low-key sweating. I was like, fuck, dude. I'm like, Oban's freaking dominating right now and really like impressing me with the size difference, but he was still able to piece him up, sniping him. But once it got to the ground, I was like, okay, got to use that size to your advantage now, Mikhailov, and he did. So shout out to him, man. And dude, I'm looking at these listed heights. I'm like, bro, they're capping out their ass, bro. Oban is listed at 6 feet, and so is the other guy. I'm like, bro, they're not the same height, bro.
No, they
What
are
is
not the
this?
same fucking height at all.
I'm like,
Jonathan's
how do
at
they get
least
that
like
wrong?
6'3",
Yeah, I'm like, he looks
at
huge.
most. He's
Yeah.
a big fella, you know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah, 6 feet, that's a little
um,
disrespectful, bro. I'm like, come on. But
but
yeah, great
very happy
performance.
for
Good performance
Jonathan.
fighter.
Very happy, you know what I mean? Like that was a good performance right there. To get the
Yeah.
comeback in a way, like you
Oh
lose the
yeah.
first round, and then you get that rear naked choke in, you get some 25K on top of it. So
Bro,
it's like
slept
it's
him.
it's
Nasty.
exactly. It's a good world for him, Nakamura, and then the rest of the card. But then on next fight was a
We
wake
got
up
this one
call
wrong.
in the worst way possible. I felt so terrible. Um,
Yeah, I
wow.
agree.
Like when I saw Torres Finney just taking all these punches to the dome, I was like, okay, block. Please block.
Yeah,
Just
for real.
move your
Yeah.
move
Move
your
your head.
head.
Yeah, he would move his
Move your
head in
fucking
between
head.
punches. I'm like, bro, you're supposed to do that when they're punching, bro. Not though
Like
he'll be like, oh. I'm like, bro, there's nothing coming. Maybe do that when
And
he
then
actually punches.
when the round ended, I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna talk to him, and then he's gonna maybe get some gas back, and you look good for the first 30, 40 seconds. Um,
Yeah.
and then it went back to the same.
Yeah.
But
Oof.
Jacob Malkoun just had himself a great fight. You know what I mean? The jab was perfect. The takedowns were menacing, and like he was just draining out Torres Finney. Torres Finney just looked like Derek Lewis that lost the power. You know what I mean? But shorter.
Yeah.
Short
Yeah.
Derek Lewis. Like what was that one fighter that does like there's front flips?
Chris
Chris
Barnett.
Barnett.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Chris
He looked like,
Barnett
yeah,
with,
for
with
real,
no
no
neck. You know what I
striking.
mean? With a little bit less weight, on top of it. But
Yeah, yeah.
I
A little more
think if you
chiseled.
put if we're gonna bring in Chris Barnett back, Torres Finney, that's the fight to make.
Yeah,
Because
for real,
really,
bro. Fuck a weight class.
what
Just throw him in there.
fuck a weight class, just put the two potatoes together and just let them fight it out. But it was a 30-27, 30-26, 30-26 on all
Yeah,
judges'
yeah.
scorecards. Just
Valid.
fucking valid. Very
Yeah.
valid. Jacob Malkoun picks up a big win in the middle of the division. You'd think this was a heavyweight division with how Torres Finney looked, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Andre
Big boy.
Petroski got a soccer kick to the ribs by Jacob Malkoun in the last fight. Cody Brundage, who had an illegal elbow, 3 years ago that fight was.
Yeah.
It's been a weird time for Jacob Malkoun. This was
hmm
his first
Long
fight in
layoff.
2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He keeps having these long layoffs and everything, so I'm really hoping that he can stay active because his
Yeah, it
only
didn't
losses
take
in the
much
UFC,
damage.
are to Cody Brundage off of an illegal elbow, Brendan Allen by decision, and Phil Hawes, which I don't think Phil Hawes is even in the UFC anymore.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think
but like,
so.
yeah, he last competed in the middleweight division. But other than that, he has great cardio, Jacob Malkoun, and he has great striking. He's also got the
hmm
finishing power in him. So I'd like to see him be able to get back in there and fight again, especially with how the next couple of months, this all of February is his fight nights. So
Yeah.
at some point, if he's healthy and ready in February 28th, he can get back in there and get himself another performance. But
hmm
what were your thoughts on Torres Finney's
Yeah.
lackluster debut?
Yeah, definitely lackluster. Yeah, oof, that was just a tough one, dude. I was hoping that maybe because they're both short, Finney would not get pieced up, but nah, the striking was just non-existent. He had a few shots where he just threw wild punches and was able to land. So I was hoping he started doing that more, but he was just didn't have the energy, didn't have the explosiveness, and
Mm-mm.
just didn't have the skills, quite frankly, to find Malkoon's chin. And Malkoon was finding his all night long. I think that Malkoon maybe should have
I'm
just kept
so
it on the
freaking
on the on the
sorry.
stand up. Yeah.
I'm so first shout out Kayla, yo.
Hey.
Second, the motherfucking goat is
Hey.
back and fucking breaking a hog with Randy. We
Let's
haven't seen him
go.
in
We miss
freaking
you, Randy.
months.
Shout out to Randy, bro.
Shout
Huge
out Randy,
W.
shout out Kayla. Oh my god, that's actually fucking nuts.
For
Once
real,
I saw
bro.
that, I'm
The
like,
freaking return of the GOAT.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. But I was like, we both
No, you're good,
know
bro. You're
how
good.
Randy's an
That's
important
worthy of an
fucking
interruption.
listener.
Please, always
Oh
here.
man.
But yeah,
Man.
it was a easy work from Alcoon, man. It's like I almost think he could have got the finish if he didn't try to go on with the ground game. I'm like, bro's never got a finish once. I mean, we never got a submission once in his career, Malkoon. Never submitted anyone, and he's trying to submit a dude with no neck. I'm like, that might not be a good idea, bro. I don't think you can choke this dude out. It's like straight muscle. His traps are like up to his ears. I'm like, this dude's not getting freaking choked out. So that's the only critique you can really say from Malkoon. Could have maybe got the finish, but other than that, flawless performance. Um, Definitely gonna hopefully get back out there sooner than later because he didn't take much damage. And yeah, we'll see where he matches up against him next in that middleweight division. I mean, he's pretty small for that middleweight division, but he looked pretty big
Yeah.
with next to freaking Finney. So I'm interested to see who they're gonna throw him in there with next. Yeah, tough one for Finney, man.
Because Finney looks like he'd be in the heavyweight division, but then he's all the way down here at the middleweight division.
For
It's like,
real,
oh
yeah.
whoa, like
Yeah.
buddy,
He's just a
you
short
don't
guy.
exactly. All due respect to him, but of course, our next fight, Cody Brundage, who last knocked out Jacob Malkoun, I believe it was, fighting here against Cameron Rouston, and I believe you messaged me about this fight. Hold on. Let me go and actually check back on it. But it ended in by TKO in the second round here. Hold on a minute. Let me go look.
Yeah.
I think you.
Ralston's lanky as fuck. The battle giraffe, that's his nickname. Goes
Yeah,
hard as
yeah.
fuck.
You put at least Rousting clutched up because I said that it's just been revoked video by Family Guy.
Yeah,
No,
because freaking Finney let us down, bro. Yeah.
exactly. Cody Brundage was having himself a little bit of a good time, and putting us a little bit of fear in our hearts, like what's gonna happen here. And then I'd like you to take this away about Cameron Roston's TKO finish.
Yeah, dude. Really impressive. Stayed composed, wasn't overextending. Brundage looked really calm in there. Like he's like I've had a million freaking UFC fights at this point. Haven't won a lot of them, but he's been in there with a lot of good guys. So he was looking really composed. But so was Rouston, and he was just using that range, finding his chin on the end of those punches, and eventually was able to get the finish. So really impressive performance from him. I mean, we do see Cody lose quite a bit lately, but he's still a solid fighter, and to be that composed and be able to mostly dominate the fight. I mean, Brundage had a few explosive moments, but Rouston was able to take all the shots and stay composed and keep using his range and eventually get that finish. So really impressive for him. I don't know if it was quite the performance I would say where I'm like, this guy's going to be a top contender, but we'll see what happens. He's 31 years old now, 6'3", in that division, in that middleweight division, really rangy. So we'll see what happens with him going forward. He's now 2-0 in the UFC, beat Andre Petroski and now Cody Brundage. So I think it's time for a step up in competition after that finish for sure.
For sure, for sure. Nicknamed the Battle Giraffe, of course, like you mentioned.
Bro, tough.
Brandon Holmes, Andre Petroski, back-to-back wins here now. Sorry, Andre Petroski, Cody Brundage, and Brandon Holmes all getting finished from the Contender Series all the way to this pay-per-view. He's been showing his strength. He's been getting himself up there. And Brundage was the best guy that you could put him against, where you could still see that knockout power and see if he still has it going into his next training camp.
Yeah.
So it was the best way to lead us into the featured prelim, which was Billy Alicana against Junior Tafa, where of course Junior Tafa didn't look bad. For the first round, he
Yeah.
looked real crisp. He had 26 strikes, a big knockdown, a big takedown. Billy was not looking himself at all. And then out of nowhere, that second round comes in. He gets some, basically sees how the gas tank was of Tafa, was able to
Mm,
land some clean shots, get that takedown, take the neck, and then choked him out cold in the second round to pick up a bonus and then
yeah.
pick up the win. Of course, with Billy, this is now ranking him to 3 fights in a row, with a big, back to back, rear naked choke finishes. Ivo Aslan got, beaten by him. His last loss was last January against Bogdan Guskov. So
Yeah.
he's used the rest of the year to, bounce back, get himself better, and then he started off this year by almost looking like he was in the same corner with the Bogdan Guskov fight, but then
Yep.
finding a way into that second round where he got the choke, picked up the big win, and Junior Tafa once again suffering another loss here. This is
Yeah.
now 2 in a row off of big chokes. San Sharif was the last guy he knocked out, which was in 2024 October. Prior to that, he got
Yeah.
submitted by
Oof.
Walter Walker and Marcos Rogerio de Lima. His last two knockouts are 2024 and 2023,
Yeah. That's
and
not
they're
good.
against and they're against guys who are not with the promotion. Sean Sharif, I don't think, is really with the promotion, and
Mhm.
Parker Porter is a meme that we always make. That we always like. Parker Porter's fighting tonight. Let's
Yep.
go. He's
What do you
fighting
mean
some
meme?
pseudo.
He's one of the best of all time. What do you mean?
Anyways, yeah. But of course, what were your thoughts here on Tapa picking up another loss, but Billy Alicana getting that comeback win here?
Yeah, man. It might be time for Tafa to be let go from the UFC. I mean, 6-5. He's barely above 500. He came into the UFC early in his career, so he's been fighting, pretty solid guys for most of his career. But it's like it gets to a point where it's like I don't know if he's going to be able to get a win in the UFC if he's going up against someone who has halfway decent grappling, where we see it time and time again, and he's getting finished, goes to the ground, it's basically game over. So it was a good composure from Elikana, finding that finish after that pretty explosive first round from Tafa. But Tafa's gas tank didn't quite make it to through round two. And once it was on the ground, Bailey showed that killer instinct and was able to find that finish. So really impressive for Bailey. He had that total freaking snooze fest against Ibo Aslan last year, but since then, like you said, back-to-back chokes, rear naked chokes, and looking really solid. So good win for him, even though it was against someone maybe doesn't have the best record in Tafa, but Tafa still has that puncher's chance to get you out of there at any point. So he stayed composed after that first round and great finish. So, I don't know if he's,
Hmm.
I don't know if Billy will ever be a top contender, but for now, another win for him. So we'll see what happens next.
Of course, for now, he shows that he, of course, belongs in the division. He's picking up back-to-back big chokes here. But now it's all about, what happens next if you're able
Yeah.
to fight a guy with some really good cardio that's going to really put you to test.
Mm-hmm.
That ended our prelim card for Paramount. Then, of course, we're still on Paramount. Of course,
Yeah, I love
no,
it.
no, no Disney Plus, no ESPN Plus,
No
no
more
Bluey.
Bluey. Yep.
No Bluey, no more Bluey. But now kids can watch Paw Patrol and the kid and their dad's like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. No
We're putting
bubble
on
guppies in this
UFC,
house.
buddy.
No bubble guppies here. But main card just enters it right into the premise. I need to learn how to say his name. Quilon Sakilid?
It's
Sakilid?
like Sal killed, I think, right? Sal killed.
Salkilid? Salkilid?
It's like
But it's
Sal killed someone. Sal killed, I think. Sal killed? I don't know.
Salkilid. Quilin is his
Well,
name,
we'll just
right?
call him Quinlan, yeah.
Quinlan. Well, Quinlan against Jimmy Malarkey. I told my buddy, you got to bet on this knockout. Not knowing damn well that Quinlan was
Oh,
going to go for a goddamn neck crank, which I'm going to say
yeah.
this here. I'm going to say this here. A lot of people, I feel like because there's a wrestler, a professional wrestler, this is random, named Gunther. He's been choking out a lot of people.
Okay, I've heard
Gold,
of him.
Goldberg, John Cena, and now AJ Styles. And a lot of people are like, oh, when he does his choke, he's not doing an actual rear naked choke. he's cranking the face so that if you punch it, you can slip out of it. Do they not understand what a face crank is?
Yeah, I'm
Because
like, that still hurts, bro.
because if I got my bicep or my forearm pressed against your mouth and I'm squeezing, that's fucking up your jaw and your
Yeah,
whole mouth. It's squeezing it. So I'm like, with professional wrestling fans, I feel like they really gotta go and watch some mixed martial arts or any other combat sport
yeah,
and see what these face, because look at Khabib Nurmagomedov, what he did to Conor
exactly. Yeah,
McGregor.
that's what I was about to say.
That's the
Just ask
number one
Connor.
face crank.
He knows all
Just
about
ask
that.
Connor. Connor's jaw was completely freaking shattered off of a face crank. So when I see a neck crank here, I'm like, that's even scarier. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
it's a scary situation. You could just rip their freaking neck right off like
yeah,
the
that's what
Alien
I was
vs
looking
Predator.
like, dude. Oof,
But Jamie
scary.
Mullarkey gets, I believe he got dropped or he got dropped with a takedown. And then just got his neck taken, and then the crank happened. It was also quick. It was like 2 minutes
Yep.
flat, and we're like, oh my God, that's it for him. Like he said, I want to be on this card, and I promise you, I will deliver on my promise. Brother, you delivered on more than a promise, and you earned yourself a freaking big bonus right there. Not only like he wasn't even eligible for 25K because they basically said this here: take the 100K, you're good, you're
Hmm.
great. Thank you so much for your performance tonight bonus. Him, and of course we'll see
Valid.
down the line, another fight. But
Very valid.
big win here. Another very freaking tough matchup that you can see because Jay Mullarkey's got a chin. If you keep punching him, you're gonna really have to like kill this guy to put him down. But that grappling from Quinlan, amazing to see. But what were
Yep.
your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I continue to be impressed with Salkild, man. He's looking better and better each time out. I mean, I didn't even realize this at the time, but looking at these stats, that was the first person to ever submit Jamie Mullarkey. So huge props on that. That's a nice little feather in the cap for him right there. But yeah, he's shown that he's well rounded, not just a knockout guy. He can also finish guys on the ground. So I'm just hugely impressed with this dude every time he comes out. And at this point, I'm wondering who should they throw him in with next? Like at this point, I feel like he deserves almost a ranked opponent or someone right outside because he's just been destroying all these guys. So at this point, I think he's one of these guys that are definitely going to be a top contender. I think that lightweight division is a tough division for sure, but I think he has all the tools, the well-roundedness, the size, the length. He's huge for that division, and he's shown that he puts that size to good use and is able to get these dudes out of there in more ways than one. Head one set last fight, head kick KO round one. This fight, first round, rear naked choke, neck crank, freaking beautiful, man. So this dude's dangerous on every level and definitely deserves a huge step up because at this point he's probably becoming a fan favorite. Definitely, in my eyes, a fan favorite and definitely one of the best prospects from Australia. They're becoming a huge, bigger and bigger each year with all these Australian fighters. So
Without a
someone's
doubt.
going to need to take the reins from Volk once he retires. So maybe it'll be Quinlan Salkild then. Yeah. Get the predictions up. We both got this one correct. We weren't about to pick
Oh yeah,
Malarkey.
my apologies, babe.
We weren't about to pick Malarkey because that'd be a little bit crazy. So shout out to
It
Salkild.
would have been the only way that we could pick against, Quinlan is if he goes against someone like Islam. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
fighter that is gonna actually put him to the freaking test. And
yep.
until then, we generally will not see that until like I'm trying to pull up these like the rankings for the lightweight division, and I'm gonna ask you freaking like just five
Bro,
fighters
who
off of
wins?
this.
For real,
Who,
bro.
who who do you think takes this? All right, when we go to the lightweight division, Quinlan is still not ranked, of course. Jimmy Mullarkey was nowhere near that ranking, but we
Yeah.
have it goes from 15 to 10 here. So we're gonna
Okay.
think of. I'm gonna ask you: Fares Ziam, Mauricio
Ooh.
Ruffy, Manuel
Ooh.
Torres, Michael Chandler, Vanille DeRouche, and then Renato Megano. Those are
Ooh.
15 to 10.
Those are some tough ones, honestly. I think he could definitely beat Morcano. Um, Torres, I think I'd probably pick him for sure. I mean, Rufi's a tough one, especially after his last performance.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ziam, right? You said that, or
Yeah, Ziam.
yeah,
Yep, yep.
he'd be also tough, lanky as hell. But I think he's right in that mix with those guys. Honestly, like we'd have to find out, but I think that he could definitely have a fighter's chance 100%. It's just a matter of are they going to throw him right there right now? And I think that, shit, you may as well. Because right now he's just destroying these guys, so may as well throw him up in there. But yeah, that'd be some crazy fights, man. I love lightweight. So many good fights.
One fight I want to see, Beneil Dariush, because he's such a
Ooh,
veteran
yeah.
against Quinlan.
That'd be
I
setting
think
him
Quinlan
up.
has has that knockout power, and he has that wrestling to see if we could
Is
test him.
Beneil still?
Test
Is he ranked still, or is he out?
He's number 11 ranked, so
Oh
I think
shit.
that would definitely be a big, especially for
Yeah,
Quinlan. First
yeah.
Yam is somebody that needs to fight, Mauricio Ruffy, let's say, or first Yam against Renato Moicano, let's say if Renato Moicano
Mm.
becomes free, because I believe Renato has a fight coming up. But like, there's so many ways that we can see the lightweight division going. I think Beneil, with how free his schedule is, could be the next guy to fight
Yeah,
off
yeah.
against this.
That'd be a tough
Um,
one for him, man. I look, you feel bad.
it would be
Setting his
something.
ass up.
I don't think it's like setting the man's ass up that much.
I don't know.
But
I'll kill too.
um, yes. Um, but let me go and quickly get this up. So our next fight, of course, was Tai Tuivasa against Thaleson Teixeira. Last time we saw Thaleson Teixeira, he was screwed over on the betting odds by fucking Derek Lewis and Jason Herzog.
Early
And
stoppage. I think I picked Lewis, so I was happy with it. But
yeah, you and Brady picked Lewis, and you guys kept arguing with me, saying, "I don't know, Teixeira was holding onto the cage, so that's the reason why they
looks
called
fair
it."
to me.
And I was like, "Shut the fuck up! Like, don't tell me the bullshit that I
Rage
have to
baiting
see."
Rami.
Like,
One of my favorite
legit,
pastimes.
like legit. Oh my god! But I have to go back and see. Hold on, Benil. He does not have a fight set up at all.
Yeah.
It's still to be dated. There's a lot of to be dated fights here. The only fighter that has like a fight listed up with him in lightweight division of ranks is Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira for the
Mm,
BMF Championship, which will be next month.
let's
Um,
go.
exactly. But Thaleson Teixeira showing off his cardio back again, showing that power. Tai
Yeah, the
Tuivasa had this
cardio.
big. Tai Tuivasa had this freaking weight cut to get himself back in shape. He didn't want to be a fat ass anymore, he says.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and man, props to him for showing up here and having himself a freaking crazy ass fight. Both guys could not stand for shit, and that's the reason why this heavyweight division is god awful. And I say that in the most respectful way
Yep.
possible. But
Yep.
here, Tyler Cicetta is the number 15 ranked. He beats the number 12 ranked Taito Ivasa. But above him, Walter Walker, Mick Parkin, Shamil Gazayev, Derek Lewis, who just freaking lost, Ante Delija, who's fighting Sergey Spivak soon, Martin Tybura, Sergey Spivak, Jailton Almeida, who had a horrible performance against Volkov, Walter Cortez Acosta, who's the only shining light
Yeah,
so
yeah.
far in the top 5, top 10 divisions.
Yeah, that's a
Curtis
rough one.
Blades. Curtis Blades is out with a torn meniscus, so we
Yeah.
don't know when he
He's
will be
getting up
back.
there in age too.
Exactly. Sergey Pavlovich, we don't know when he's gonna fight next, and he was supposed to fight for the championship. He loses to Tom Aspinall. He has to get himself back in action. Loses to Alexander Volkov. Gets himself back into a win Waldo Cortez Acosta. But then we're trying to see what
Yeah.
happens next
Yeah,
for him
yeah. I haven't
because it
seen much since.
feels iffy. Because if you fight Volkov, get in and you lose, then you're back at feet on square one. You
Mm-hmm.
fight Cyril Gahn. Cyril Gahn's not going to say, "Oh yeah, I want to fight him." No, he's focused on Aspinall. So
Yep.
that's why this division is just so such a clusterfuck.
Yeah,
Having
yeah.
this fight here was fun to see Tyler Cicera get back into action. From being 9-0, sorry, 8-1 to now being 9-1 after this big win over Tai Tuivasa. Tuivasa, a lot of people saying don't cut the guy because he still showed a lot of good heart and adversity, especially in the third round when he almost got the big finish and
Yeah.
everything. But
Yeah, it's a tough
29-28 on all
situation.
of the scorecards. Tyler Cicera picks up the big win here. What were your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, definitely. I was like, damn, this is the best we can do at heavyweight. Fuck, dude. I was pretty high on Teixeira coming in. He's huge, like what, 6'7", and like freaking massive, bro. But for real, bro, I was high on him, and he's kind of been a disappointment in my eyes, where I had a lot of expectations on him, and then he gets finished by Derek Lewis, which happens to the best of them. But then this one, I'm like, Ty was not looking his best. I mean, he had this long layoff. I was hoping that he would use that time wisely, but we kind of saw in his social media he was looking huge, like maybe like freaking 300 plus pounds, and yeah, he just did not use that time wisely to improve his game. I think he's getting worse, unfortunately. So it sucks to see where I was a huge Ty fan. I mean, who wasn't when he was having that crazy KO streak, and then had that Cyril Gane fight, and then had some great moments, dropped Gane, but then got finished, and then it's been downhill ever since from there. So it's been a little bit sad to see. But yeah, I don't know. They might keep him around just for money wise because he's a big name. But I don't know, man. He's gonna have to really lock in and get his act together outside of training. Like, bro, you got to take care of your body a little more than what you are right now. He did, save some energy for that third round and almost was able to get something done there. But Teixeira, they're both freaking gassed too. So Teixeira too needs to work on that damn cardio and just yeah. I'm not too high on either of these guys at this point. So like you said, the heavyweight division is just not that exciting right now, especially with Aspinall out with his eye injury. So right now it's like not much to look forward to with those big boys up there. So shit.
It's like Dana White's punishing these fucking guys just for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
world champion being fucking out.
Yeah, for
But
real, bro. Yeah, yeah.
of course,
Freaking Dana's like, don't get me started on that. I'm like, bro, what? Your fighter's injured and
he
you're talking shit.
he's mad because his fighter didn't try to kill himself
Yeah,
to defend the championship. Like,
for real,
you're
bro.
out of your mind, Buster. Tyler just set up picks of the win there. I believe he will now be in the top 13 ranked.
And we
Taito
predicted it
Ivasa.
right. Let's go.
Exactly. Tuivasa, we don't know what's gonna happen with him, so we'll find out tomorrow
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Wednesday, whenever the matchmakers make the minds up. Our next fight was Mauricio Ruffi against Rafael Faziev. Last time we saw Mauricio was against Benoit Saint Denis, and it was no Madagascar. There was no move it. He was just getting destroyed. It was just a bad night for him.
Yeah.
Um, and but on Rafael Faziev's side, it's been a weird one, of course, because now he is in his last five, 1-4.
Hmm.
That's that's
Yeah.
sad. And
Yeah.
he's a tremendous fighter, but he's been going against the very best of the best. He defeated some of the very best, but then like, let's go and look at it.
Hmm.
So he defeats he gets to the UFC. He loses to Magomed Mustayev, just in a Russian matchup in 2019. After that, he picks up the wins over Mark Chikasi, Renato Moicano, Bobby Green, Brad Riddell with that spinning wheel kick when everyone was
Yeah.
like,
That
"Oh
was
my God,
legendary.
that was massive." Then knocks out Rafael dos Anjos and a performance of the night in 2022. Big main event there, his I think first one. Then he fights Justin Gaethje, loses in a fight of the night, but
Hmm.
still loses. Has to get himself back in there. Mateus Gamrot messed up his knee, so we had to wait again, and we're like, okay, you're fighting Gaethje again,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
isn't that kind of a bad decision to make up? He's like, no,
Yeah.
I've made all the best fixes to my errors of my mistakes. I'm gonna go out there and kick some ass. Was not that. It was
Yeah.
another fight of the night, but it was not that.
Yeah.
Then he
Not as
defeats
close either as the first one.
Exactly. He fights Ignacio Bahamondes, what do you call it, last
Hmm.
June, picks to the big win, takes the rest of the year off, gets himself back in tippity top shape, and gets rid of those injuries, rehabs everything, fights Mauricio Ruffi, and I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit nervous. I almost switched my pickup
Yeah.
again with this one as well. I almost switched my
Hmm.
pickup. I'm like, you know what? I might have to, because Ruffy was not, for some reason I was a little bit scared on the Ruffy train because as much as I like him, that Benoit Saint Denis fight, it feels like when you fight Benoit Saint Denis, he exposes something of yours that's a really big con that everybody
Hmm.
else can discover on.
Yeah.
And Mauricio, of course, defeated prior to that, King Green, James Lontop, he knocked out Jamie Malarkey, and then he's got himself, up there and up there. Um, he fights Benoit Saint Denis, and even Benoit Saint Denis after he got knocked out by Dustin Poirier, we are like, oh, is he gonna be able to beat Ruffy? So we went with
Hmm.
Ruffy at that time. That did not work out for us in the end, and we're like,
Yeah.
all right, next fight, new world. Let's see what happens here. And wow, Fasiv, first time ever, I believe this was. He got knocked out, or
Yep.
just this is the first time in his career that he's been finished in the octagon. Um, Actually, the first time in the UFC he's been finished by an actual TKO knockout. he lost to Magomed Mustayev by a spinning back kick and punches in his first ever fight, and then now he loses again in this dominant fashion. Mauricio Ruffy gets himself back into the picture of rankings, and what a division it is, because necessarily we have
Yeah.
Justin Gaethje as champion.
Yeah,
Now,
that's a weird.
now, now we wonder ourselves, like, Ilya is still the undisputed champion, and we
Yeah.
don't know how Ilya is really favoring himself out, or if he really even wants to fight Justin Gaethje until we actually see that fight get inked down. We're not thinking that he's scared. We're necessarily just thinking, oh, what happens next?
Yeah,
Um, but of course, big win there. When we look at the rankings, are these guys even ranked? Yeah, they are.
for
Rafael
sure. Yeah.
Fiziev is the number 9 ranked, and Ruffy is the number 14 ranked. So we get
So they'll
Ruffy
probably
into the
switch
top
up.
10.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll get him into the top 10. Hinata Moicano might even bounce down as well. Manuel Torres honestly should go from number 13 to being at least maybe a number 11 because of those. Benil Darius losing to Benoit Saint Denis, Michael Chandler losing to Paddy Pimblett. I feel like they've lost their oomph for the reasoning of being in
Yep.
their
Yeah.
ranking spot. You get Mauricio Ruffy and of course, like I said, Manuel Torres above them. Uh, Benoit Saint Denis being ranked number 8th is funny considering the fact that Mateus Gamrot's coming off a loss over Oliveira. Dan
Yeah.
Hooker's coming off a loss over both Benoit and who else was it? Yeah, so, prior to that, Dan Hooker fought some
Mm.
Orman Tsurkian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That was
and then
recently, bro. Oh my god.
yeah, like he I don't know how the fuck they cleared him in time to fight
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. I know.
I was like, okay, brother.
Fucking crazy.
Paddy Pimblett is the number 5th ranked, and right now the only guys who are eligible to fight like Ilia Topuria, let's say, are Justin because the interim championship, and
Yep.
but Armin Turkian,
Yeah.
Sorokian, which really it's Armin who should be fighting next in line, guaranteed, nobody else at all. Um,
Yeah.
but Mauricio Ruffy picks up his big win here. What were your thoughts on of course, seeing this TKO loss on Rafael Fiziev hand? And do you think he gets cut?
No, I think maybe keep him one more chance. Like you said, he's just been facing the best of the best out there, and then he recently had that win over Bahamundes, so I think that's good enough win. That's recent enough to keep him around. But as for Rufi, man, how dangerous is this guy? Able to finish Fiziev with relative ease and little rhyme there, and it was just absolutely beautiful to see, man. I was a little like you said, a little bit worried with this pick. Like, who do I go with, Fiziev or Rufi? The guy with a little more experience, or more of the fun up and comer who had a setback, but very different fighter than Benoit Rafael Fiziev is, where Benoit has the grappling, and Fiziev you don't really have to worry about the grappling. So that's why I was leaning towards Rufi, and he really showed the levels. And we're used to seeing Fiziev in these striking wars with some of the best strikers in the world. So that's kind of what I was expecting. Maybe this is going to go the distance. But man, Rufi said we don't even need the entire second round. We only need a few seconds into it. Able to get that finish, man. Absolutely beautiful. Definitely is going to be up there in those rankings, top 10 for sure. And I mean, based on Justin Gaethje getting a title shot after beating Fiziev, I mean, why doesn't Rufi deserve one? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if we're giving out title shots off beating Fiziev, I mean, apparently that's a title winning, title contender performance, but they probably won't. But yeah, he's definitely so fun. And he trained with Volk, dude. So after this fight, I was like, fuck, dude. Lopez might be cooked if Rufi was training with Volk and then he comes out here and does that. I'm like, fuck. Maybe I should have changed my pick too.
No shame. No shame at all. I have no shame whatsoever.
Next time I'm be like, I'll change too.
Go right ahead. Like, that's the thing. That's the reason why we have that whole rule there. Like, you know what? 5 minutes before the thing, when they're doing the introductions of Bruce Buffer, dead ass.
Yeah,
like,
as long as it's before the fight starts,
hey,
though, it's fair game.
Hey, Rami, I'm switching my pickup. Go right ahead, boss. I ain't gonna get that. I'm
as long as it's before the fight
starts. That ain't gangster. That ain't gangster. Oh man, but our next fight up was Benoit Saint Denis. Benoit is back, as they say. This is Dan Hooker, which I don't know why Dan Hooker was back so freaking quickly.
Yeah, dude. He just freaking fought.
And then Paddy Pimblett was on Hater Watch the whole time. I'm like, brother, you made a hypothetical rape joke, and then you're mad at Dan Hooker?
For real,
because he
Mike.
mentioned he got you back. Like, but um, I was nervous for this one because I was like, I want Dan to win so bad because
Yeah,
he's such
yeah.
a badass motherfucker. But Benoit is like a truck. Like he just goes through
Hmm.
walls upon walls upon walls. You can't take him down. He's the Kool-Aid man. And as soon as this fight starts, they just start going rowdy on each other. It was just like
Yeah.
back and forth. What's gonna happen? There was instances where one guy landed on one knee, the other one went for an uppercut, the other one landed on a knee, the other one went for a knee. It's like these sequences where I felt like I was watching All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
But second round came in, Benoit worked that wrestling, and then as soon as he got a good grip on the half guard top mount, landed those freaking this disgusting vicious elbows. And many were saying, referee, call us off, hurry up already, like
Hmm.
stop the damn fight because he's taking so much damage. But
Yeah.
Benoit said that he did not care. Benoit was ready. Benoit is back. He's wanting to prove to himself that the lightweight division is still his for the taking, and that he can fight Gaethje, which he could. Yeah. If he fights Gaethje like anytime soon, we're gonna see Benoit versus Elliot Oberdia at this point.
Mm.
Um, Rufy is somebody that I'm glad he showed him some really good strengths, but Benoit's such a different fighter, and it shows against Dan Hooker. It's
Yeah.
Dustin. If Dustin Poirier, in a sense, besides Renato Moicano, because Renato Moicano had that big like, oh, you beat Benoit, let's go for the championship,
Yep.
and then he got killed. He got
Hmm.
killed badly,
Yeah,
and
that's a
I don't
crazy win for him. Like Moicano beat
exactly.
BSD. That's just crazy.
And then now we're like, okay, but BSD in a hypothetical world versus Ilya Dobrdia, I could see him out wrestling him and just doing some really good stuff. But he'd have to keep that chin clean. He can't be a Paddy
Yeah.
Pimblett and
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
out in the open, or it's gonna get cracked and he's gonna die. But big win here for Benoit Saint Denis.
Yeah.
Um,
Huge.
and it keeps getting better for him because now that lightweight division sees him pick up that win there, he's the number eighth ranked. He beats the number six ranked Dan Hooker, so he gets himself above that. If they honestly wanted to, they could bump him above like two more spots, put him in the top
Yeah.
five over Paddy Pimblett over that loss, and then Ben was in that top five, and then you have everybody with a win. Gaethje has a win. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Torment on a 5-fight win streak. Shaw's picking up that big win of Mateusz Gamrot. And then Max, he's getting ready to fight Shaw, so they're both on
Yeah.
this big win streak. So lightweight division has some challenges. Justin being the number one guy, but if Justin goes down with an injury, and I can't even say God forbid, it's MMA world. At this point, anyone can go down with a knee
Yeah.
injury, neck injury,
Mm.
staph, something like that,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
break a neck.
Ingrown hair,
Um,
as Gaethje would say.
as he would say, but like the dream fight for me is International Fight Week Arman Tsarukyan against Ilya Topuria. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
big fight for
I
me
agree,
that I
man.
would like to see
Armand
happen.
deserves it.
Exactly. Um, but of course, with this big win here for Benoit, what do you think is next for him? Do you think he
Yeah.
fights anytime soon, anytime in the next couple months, or does he
Yeah.
wait it out?
I say sometime soon for sure, man. He had that rough stretch where he lost to Poirier and then lost to Moicano. But ever since then, man, he has been so locked in, man. 4 straight finishes. Freaking destroyed Beneil Dariush in his last fight and then just destroys Dan Hooker again. The way he fights is just so crazy, man. He's just forward pressure 24/7. He'll be like crawling on the ground trying to charge you. I'm like, this dude is crazy. Even on the ground, he's like looking like he's trying to kill you, man. So this dude is just all action all the time. Sometimes it gets him into trouble, or maybe we'll see like that Poirier fight where he goes a little too crazy and Poirier was able to catch him with a nasty right hook. But if you're not able to catch him, it's going to be a tough night for you to keep him off of you. He's just so relentless, constantly going forward, constantly mixing it up, going for takedowns, going for strikes. So yeah, I think that any one of those guys in the top that don't have a fight would be a good one for him. I mean, he's just so freaking good. So I mean, if they don't want to give Arman the title shot, Benoit versus Arman, I mean that'd be a fun main event for some card for sure.
I was thinking
Um,
that too.
yeah, and I feel like they match up well, where they're both really well rounded. So yeah, I feel like that'd probably be the matchup I would have to pick just based on availability and how Gaethje just fought and Patty's out for a while after that beatdown. and then Charles and Max are booked up. So yeah, for sure, that'd probably have to be mine. If obviously I think that Arman deserves it, but just because Gaethje is the interim champ, they're probably just going to give him the title shot once Ilya comes back. But in the meantime, for the next fight after that one, I think a number one contender fight for Arman and Benoit would be really fun, man. I would be tough to pick, honestly.
Oh yeah, one fight I would like to see if Benoit does not want to put himself into the fire just too soon and get himself a quick win, maybe someone that he already fought before. Renato Moicano
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
a good one.
true.
Get back that win, get back on your, hot, like, heighten that streak up and everything. And with Armin, if anything, I would like to see him fight Gamrot. You know what I mean? Armin versus Gamrot. I
Yeah,
think that could
yeah.
be a
Have they
really
fought
good.
before? I can't remember. I think so.
I believe that they did. I believe that Armin picked up the win there. Yeah, no, Gamrot picked up the win there. So I
Mm,
think them rematching after since 2022, this would be the first rematch, and since
yeah.
then we've seen Damir Ismagulov, Joaquin Silva, Benil Dariush, Charles Oliveira, and Dan Hooker, face the same fate from Armin. So I
Mm,
think Gamrot picking up that win there, or sorry, getting that fight there would help out Armin. Same way it would help out Benoit. Then they win both fights and then move on to fight each other, like you said, a number one contenders, and then we can see what
mm.
truly happens next. Um, Next up, it is our main event, and I texted you 5 minutes
Yep,
before it. Said I'm
yep.
switching my pick to Volkanovski. I feel like I
Yeah.
have to go with the down under man, and then you were
So
thinking to
we split
yourself,
on this one.
yeah, you would think to yourself like, man, look at this fucking pussy, like just straight up,
I'm
like
like, this
what
guy, I'm like the classic
every
freaking Rami. He's changing it up just to save his predictions. Doesn't want to
exactly.
take the L. But
Never,
ends up working
never.
out, bro. Fuck, dude. Now I'm starting to wish I
Uh,
freaking switched after that performance, dude. Fuck. He was even better than
on
the first time they fought, which is crazy.
right. A lot of people were saying that it was like razor close. I feel like it was like this
Yeah,
Volkanovski
yeah,
all the
yeah.
way and
I
everything.
agree,
Volk
man.
Volk
100%.
had himself an amazing performance that we
Yeah.
haven't seen from him in quite some time. He was rattling the jaw of Diego Lopez, and here's the scary part about the whole fight is that those blocks, kicks that Volkanovski had with his elbow broke both feet
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Diego
I seen
Lopez.
that. That is crazy,
if
bro. I'm
if
like,
both
both
my feet
feet?
were broken, if both my feet were broken by the same dude, I'm never fighting him again.
For
But
real,
I didn't
bro.
like what commentary was saying. Commentary said that this could very well be his last attempt at fighting for a championship for
Yeah, yeah,
Lopez.
yeah, yeah. Bisping
I'm
was
like,
hating.
I'm
For
like,
real.
are you fucking dense? Like, and I say that in most like, I'm one of the biggest, Michael Bisping fans ever.
Yeah, yeah.
But Diego Lopez is 31 years old. We had guys who were 37 or 40 years old fighting for the
Yeah,
championship.
I'm like, just look at
Yeah,
Justin Gaethje, bro. He's fought for the title a million times, bro.
yeah, he fought for the championship against Khabib. He fought for the title against Charles. He fought for the championship against what do you
Bro,
call it?
didn't he?
Who else?
Wasn't it for the? I think it was for an interim belt with against Alvarez, right? Eddie Alvarez. Am I tripping?
No. I wish that was interim time. No, that was after his win over Michael Johnson when he debuted and he
Mm.
fought Eddie Alvarez and then he fought Dustin Poirier back to back 5 rounders
Yeah, yeah,
and got his
yeah.
jaw fucking shattered. But he fought he fought the champions, Khabib. He fought, if he fought for the
For
championship against
BMF,
Dustin for
for real.
the BMF title and then defended it as well. So it's like that title still essentially counts
Yeah,
all
that's a
around
good
gold.
point.
But no, Diego Lopez here, prior to the loss of Volkanovski in 2025 of last April, he beat Brian Ortega, Dan Ige, Sadiq Youssef, Pat Sabatini, Gavin Tucker. The only person he lost to was in 2023 against Movsar Evloev. But we were still like, oh, this guy is on the way to the
Yeah,
top.
yeah. And it
If
was
he can get his wrestling,
debut. Yeah.
exactly, we were like, if he can get his cardio in check and perform, we'll see a great performance. He's ripped off the arm of Gavin Tucker, knocked up Pat Sabatini, knocked up Sadiq Youssef, pieced up Dan Ige, beat up Brian Ortega in a huge fight. Then he fought for the championship. He lost,
Hmm.
even though he was very, very close.
Yeah, that was a
He
close fight, the first one.
he killed Gene Silva, who just beat Arnold Allen. So if Gene Silva beat Arnold Allen, then Diego Lopez beats Arnold Allen like nothing, if it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense. I mean,
yeah.
and
Based on
this
that.
division this division is still open. This division is still wide. So with the featherweights especially, because now let's say um Diego Lopes, the number 2 ranked, he loses here. Yair Rodriguez, Lerone Murphy, Aljamain Sterling, Arnold Allen, Yusuf Zalal, and Steve Garcia and Brian Ortega. He already beat Ortega. He
Mm-hmm.
beat Steve Garcia, in my opinion. I think, him and Steve Garcia put on a great show, but I think Lopez takes that one.
Yeah.
Yusuf Zalal, I think he loses. I think he definitely, beats Yusuf Zalal. Arnold Allen, as tough of a chin that he has, Lopez is, full all-around complete fighter. He beat Silva, so I think he can do it very well again, especially the anger he carries for
Mm-hmm.
Team Silva.
Yeah.
Um, Aljamain Sterling, come on, come on. Like I feel like
What
Lopez
year
has
is this?
himself, like you know what I mean. Like Aljamain will have the wrestling, but he would have to extend and pressure for that
Mm-hmm.
wrestling so much to be able to win. Lerone Murphy is fighting Mosa Evolov in London, so that's going to
Mm.
be a very very
Yeah.
exciting one.
That would be the next
Um,
opponent for Volk. One of the winner.
exactly. Yair Rodriguez, he's still waiting to fight for the championship. Like they
Yeah,
told
yeah.
him,
Lopez or
beat
yeah, Rodriguez would be fun.
they're like beat Pitbull and you have the championship. He's like, okay, I'll wait. He beats Pitbull, and then that was UFC 314. It's now UFC 325.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's a
Gotta get a
that's the same.
fight.
Like I feel like he's definitely got to get a freaking fight going forward. And Yair versus Diego Lopez, I think that one right there
Yeah.
sets everything up in
Well, like
perfect stone.
Lopez's feet just would need to heal up, so it'd be a little bit of a
Yeah,
wait.
exactly. Wait it out, wait until the next no check card, and then put it on there. That's a big headliner right there.
Mm-hmm.
Lopez
Yeah,
and
100%. For
Yair
real, though.
Rodriguez, but of course Volkanovski here rattles the jaw, uses great wrestling, got the guillotine in almost.
Yeah,
Um, there's many moments that he had where he was showing some great signs. Lopez showed heart, he showed resiliency and durability, but it was still getting rattled and almost getting dropped completely every time he stepped in foot with
yep,
Alexander Volkanovski. Because Volkanovski took some time off and he got himself really healthy and he looks really great. So
yeah,
Volkanovski retains the featherweight championship, gets that 49-46 and all the judges scorecards except for 50-45, which I agree with all of that. It was a really dominant performance from Volkanovski, without a doubt. Anyone who says
yeah,
it's razor close, I feel like wants to
yeah,
fight back
yeah.
and see if it was razor close again, because
Definitely
I feel
not.
like that would definitely show you, how freaking crazy Volkanovski is in that rematch. But
Yeah,
what were your thoughts here on Volkanovski retaining the championship?
yeah, definitely not razor close. I mean, there's a few moments for Lopez where he kind of dropped Volk, and then some of the shots he was throwing were just like barely missing, but that's not gonna score you any points if you're almost landing. So amazing masterclass from Volk, man. Um, like I said, I was expecting Lopez to improve after their last fight because I freaking picked Lopez, and that last fight was close, but Volk was the one that improved a bunch, and which is crazy to say it, where he's been fighting for so long. He's people talking about maybe this is his last fight, and he goes out and puts that type of performance on, where wins every round except one, maybe, and just looks amazing doing it. And I see some people shitting on him. Oh, he's running the whole time. I'm like, running? I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm pretty sure he's threw more strikes. I'm like, how are you throwing more strikes than running, bro? I'm like, just because he's a smart fighter, he's he's running. I just never understood that argument. I'm like, you can punch off the back foot, guys. You guys do realize that. Like, so people just like to complain for no reason. But for what a performance from Volk. I always love to watch Volk because he's such a small guy, but he'll be fighting on the outside and able to just find these shots, step in, hit, and get out. And he's just able to time. And then whenever they are in the pocket, he's not afraid to let it rip too. There's a few instances where they're both just swinging away, and Volk is still getting the better of Lopez, where we've seen Lopez knock dudes out from inside. So I was just blown away with how good that Alexander Volkanovski looked in this title defense. And it just makes me wonder, man, how fucking good is Ilya? Able to just go in there, starch him out, no questions asked. And then, like, it's just, I'm like, dude, how good is Ilya? So that win for Ilya keeps aging better and better each time Volk comes back and beats these other featherweights. So yeah, Ilya might be unstoppable based on these performances. But for real, man, I love Volk. How can you not? I was cracking up when he was freaking sitting on top of his face. in that last round, I think. Oh my god, dude! I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my god, this is
High
getting
Elf
embarrassing for Lopez. Fuck.
High Elf Club, Courtney.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
photo, the
Oh my
drawing she
god.
did, amazing. I was geeking so much. I was like, I guarantee you, someone's gonna make that a drawing, and I'm like, the first person in my head that popped up was them, and I was like,
Yep.
it's gonna be tomorrow morning, guarantee. Which, by the way, shout out to you as well. The toupee in a
Yes,
way.
sir. Yeah, we had some boxing too this week. Shakur got
Yeah.
the masterclass against Teo, and then we saw Big Baby Miller lost his fucking hairpiece mid-fight, bro. He was a champ about it. Took it like a champ, ripped it
Mm-hmm.
off, threw it to the crowd. So he was a total good attitude with it, and he got the win. So it's a
Yeah,
great night overall.
you did a drawing of the freaking hairpiece falling
Yes,
back. He
sir.
liked it
Bro.
and he commented
I
on it.
saw
So I
that,
thought
bro. Yeah, yeah.
that was pretty
For real,
fucking
bro. My
tough.
girlfriend was like, I feel so bad for him. She's like, I feel so sad. I'm like, well, he still got the win. She's like, okay, that makes me feel better. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, as long as he got the
Like
win, that's all that matters. And he's probably
like
way more famous now from that.
oh yeah, like everyone's talking about it. All of ESPN, the Sports Center even posted it. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, look at this guy! He
For
lost
real,
his
bro.
freaking
That's definitely a
hairpiece
fucking
and
first,
he
bro.
still
I'm
won."
like, hey, what did he expect? Is he supposed to stay on for the heavyweight boxing match? I'm like, what is it? Super glue? Got the gorilla glue underneath there?
Ex exactly. But with the total strikes 112 to 74, a 20% difference for
Yeah.
for Volkanovski and
From the
Lopez. But
guy
people were like, oh,
running, quote unquote, to
people like
casual.
he's running, and then he landed 98 significant strikes to 70.
I'm
So it's
like, I don't
come on,
understand.
do the
Bro, I'm like,
go do the
Lopez needs to push it more, you know what I'm saying? I'm like,
are
if
these
you
people
want to
not gonna do
win,
the fucking math?
yeah, for real,
It's
bro.
really goddamn easy.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, wrapping this up, we have another card this upcoming weekend, February
Yeah.
7. Uh, it's gonna be so much fun. Super Bowl weekend is this weekend, so we got ourselves a cool ass UFC fight card
Bro,
on Saturday night, and then we got ourselves a pay-per-view. Sorry, the Super Bowl this Sunday. Seahawks Patriots, first time they're fighting each other in almost 10 years, like at the
yep.
Super Bowl. I
For
remember when
real,
the
dude. Just
Patriots and
run the
Seahawks.
ball. Run the ball at the goal line. Seahawks.
Legit. Like just run the ball when you're in the end zone and get yourself that damn win. Go Seahawks, even though I think the
Yes.
Patriots might decimate them, but it's a
Yeah.
close
I'm
fight.
going Seahawks. I'm going
It's me
Seahawks.
too, man. Me too. We're all going Seahawks. I feel like everyone
Let's
with morals.
go. In Darnold we
Um,
trust, bro.
in
He's got
Donald, we trust. After he beat the Rams, I'm like, I respect him even more because he did it in the most clean and freaking sacred way possible. So, and Cooper
mm,
Cup, we want to see Cooper Cup get that
true.
championship one more
Bro.
time.
LAOG.
Um, exactly. But our next card prelims features Claudia Segura against Priscilla Cachetta. Priscilla's always getting her ass whooped, but I'm very, very glad to see women on the card again. Like, look at this. There's three women's fights on the prelim card. What was taking them so long with the last card?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we only got
That's a good
one
point.
fight with Rose Namajunas and freaking
Yeah, and
who
then
was
this
it?
card, was
Uh,
there any woman? No, right?
no,
Yeah.
not
Mm.
one women's fight, one bit. Claudia Segura, Priscilla Cachetta, Murin Gaferda against Jacob Ricklax, who beat Patchy Mix,
Yeah,
so he's back in
yeah.
the action.
I'll be
Wayne
picking him for
Kong,
sure.
she's fighting Eduardo Mora. Saeed Nurmagomedov, he's back against Yavid Basharat. Both Basharat are fighting. Bruna
Mm.
Brazil, she's fighting against Ketlin Suzar. Nikolai Valentikov against Nico Price. Freaking Nico Price is back in this
Yeah,
motherfucker
what?
apparently.
What year is this?
Uh, I know. Same another person, Alex Morano against Daniil Donchenko. Then our main card is Dustin Jacoby. He's back against Julius
Yeah,
Walker. Jean
banger.
Matsumoto against Farid Basharat. Michael Olajikic against Marc-Andre Barnault. Jelton Almeida, he is back after that very, very
Mhm.
lackluster performance against Volkov. He'll be fighting Razan Kunayev, who I believe is either making his debut or has already fought. I have not heard of this fella, so I feel bad for
Yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
He's had one fight against Curtis Blades, lost by split decision in his debut. So not bad.
wow. A middleweight bout between promotional newcomer Jose Enrique Sosa and Eric Nolan was originally scheduled, but Nolan withdrew and was replaced by Nikolai Valentikov. In return, Sosa withdrew for undisclosed reasons and was replaced by Nico Price. So
Mm.
that's a crazy one. But Amir Albazi will be fighting in the co-main flyweight division against the legendary
Ooh,
Kyoji Horiguchi.
the
So we got
OG.
Horiguchi back in this motherfucker
Let's
against
fucking
Amir
go.
Albazi. It should
Tough
be a very,
matchup.
very scary one. and then this main event, which I think will be split between us. Because I
Mm.
believe you're going Mario Batista for some reason. I don't
Yeah, I
know
don't
why,
know. It's tough.
but I'm feeling Vinicius Oliveira is gonna pick up a massive submission win here, and because Mario Batista had a good showing against Umar Nurmagomedov, even though he
Hmm.
lost, we still saw something good out of him. Vinicius is just as tough as he is, so it's very split. It's very even. It's the perfect way of an appetizer before the Super Bowl. I don't like a
Yeah,
pay-per-view before a Super Bowl because then I feel like, okay, I'm riding so high on this. Give us a fight night that has some really good fighters
yeah,
and payout bonuses that are going to be really fun for us, and
yep.
that's what we're going to be getting here. So should be a good one at the Meta Apex in
The
Enterprise,
Meta
Nevada.
Apex, amazing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Then after that, we got a Houston, Texas card. We're only going to mention the main event, or actually co-main event as well. Sergey Spivak and Ante Delija will be in the heavyweight division, and the main
Banger.
event will be Anthony Fluffy Fernandez against Sean Strickland. Sean
You know
Strickland's
who we're
way of
rocking
promoting
with.
for sure. Sean Strickland's way of promoting this fight has been photoshopping himself in ice outfits. So I hope he gets
Cringe,
killed. Guaranteed. I hope.
cringe.
I hope he just gets his ass fucking whooped
Bro.
all fight long. Treat him like Roman Dolizzi, Anthony. Just
Hmm.
straight up drag him across the octagon and keep punching him in the head like a Three Stooges. But
For
of
real,
course,
bro. Strickland's a
it
clown with that shit, bro.
very very fucking clowny. But of course, thank you so much as always to everybody who tuned in. 863 of you all tuned in to hear us yap for about an hour and 12
Shout out
minutes
to
and
y'all.
counting. Shout out to y'all. It's very very fun to be able to come back and be able to do another edition of this show and be able to see what happens. And now for February we have all fight nights. There's not going to be another pay-per-view. It's just going to be fight nights for us before we get to March 7th of next month, where it will be Max Holloway against Charles Oliveira for the BMF Championship,
So
which
hyped
is
for
going to
that
be a
one.
beautiful fight. Beautiful fight. Cannot wait for it. My heart's going to be pounding out of my chest
Bro,
I'm
Mike,
shitting
can
a
they
brick.
both win? Fuck.
Right? A draw? Let's just get that. Let's just get a draw and have everybody have a good time. But of course, I'm taking this like with such happiness and everything because, of course, perfect card, all green and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
If
The
anything,
last one to switch, fuck.
I
Really
know, right?
say.
Last minute switch. You know what I mean? So like, you know what I mean? The fucking hat is back, and you know what I mean? Like, what time is
Oh,
it?
what time is it?
What
I can't. I
what
don't have a
time is it?
clock. I don't have a clock in here.
I think I know what time it is. It is winning time, and
Hey,
amazing, amazing. Thank you, thank you.
bro,
Moving
first
on.
one. I mean, I guess we tied, but since he won the main, I mean, even though the prelims takes a little more deep ball knowledge, if you're asking me, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
I know you'd say
saying?
that. I know you'd say that. I know you'd say
But
that. You're
go
like,
ahead, celebrate the tie. Go ahead, go ahead. I'll
I'll
let you have your
celebrate the time.
victories when you can.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, cause if I didn't, I know you'd be running fucking victory laps, wearing your green hat, being like, "Well, everything is green in here."
For real,
I
bro.
get
You know I would have.
paint,
Fuck, dude. The
paint
green
it.
hat
You're
will be
gonna if you get a perfect card, you're gonna paint your whole room green at that point.
for
And
real,
you're
bro.
like,
I'm,
"Oh,
I'm just gonna be the Hulk, bro. I'm just
I'm a
transforming.
walking dollar bill over here." But of course, thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Max, where can they find you on your socials?
Follow me at Combat Convos on Twitter, and you can find me at Brawl and Draw on Instagram. That is my art account. Have Diego Lopes like here. He didn't get it done, but it's okay. So now, if I draw them, they're probably going to lose. So, check out my page and maybe, you'll get some tips. And if I draw them before, just go against that and it'll be an instant win. So, shout out and check it out.
That's crazy. But of course, if you want to follow me on my socials, it's at Who Else But Rami on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, anywhere that you get your, good old news or your buffoonery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have some interviews coming up either this week or next week, depends. I'm still talking with a couple of talent to try to see if I can get that going for this weekend, especially before the Super Bowl, because I know everybody's either going to be celebrating the Super Bowl or hating on the Super Bowl. Either way, it's going to be a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
Let's
go
go
Bad Bunny.
Seahawks. Yeah.
Let's go Bad Bunny and
Let's
Seahawks.
go.
Fuck ICE. You're a bunch of
Yep.
cucks and losers.
Yes,
And
sir.
you know what I mean. Live your life happy. Give everybody a big hug. Love somebody today. And remember that just take every day as if it's your last day. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
Enjoy. Tell your favorite people that you love them. Tell your favorite people that they matter to you, and just keep going every single day doing what you do best, and that's being you. Don't be
Yep.
racist. Don't be homophobic.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't be a
Good
loser.
thing.
You know what I mean? Exactly. And if that's the case, then I hope you lose your ankles by a freaking alligator attack in the middle of the night. But thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. We will see you next Monday for another edition of Talktagon. I am always your host, Rami. That's Max the Goat. Thank you so much. We will see you next time. Thank you.